Okay, means yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Good evening, parents. My name is Neil Pinnock. I'm the very proud principal of River Trail Middle School, and we want to welcome you to Curriculum Night 2020. I would not want to lead any other school, and during these times, I believe and I know we can take on any challenge. I hope things are going well, and you and your child are enjoying the URL experience. I mean, our goal, whether the students are here in person or virtually, but we want to make sure our students have a great start to the school year virtually. We want to make sure students are well taken care of, challenged, and build positive relationships with their teachers and peers. So I want to thank you, parents, caregivers, for the sacrifice with managing your workload and your child's learning. And also I want to thank our teachers, our faculty, and our professional staff for supporting your children, for engaging lessons, and for attending to the needs of all of our families. We received great responses from the parents and staff survey, so thank you for the input. We'll continue to work with staff to make improvements. So tonight I will share information, some new information, as well as some repeat information that parents that you've received since the start of school. And then we will also have a Q&A session. So, but first, I want to introduce our team. Okay, so first we have our producer, Ms. Sarah Roberson. She's our grad coach.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, our parent chat manager, if I could use that term, is 7th grade counselor Renee Bartley.
Hi there. Good evening.
And we have Mr. Guy Crotchley. He's wearing all the hats tonight. So he's assisting everyone and making sure that we stay on track. And so 7th grade assistant principal, Mr. Guy Crotchley.
Good evening, parents. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us this evening. We're so looking forward to providing you superb information.
Okay. Thank you, team. All right. Okay. All right. Again, Curriculum Night 2020. Okay. Now I noticed that the forward icon is covered by my search window. Okay. All right. So how to ask a question during Curriculum Night? So you will see a Q&A symbol at the top of the right screen. And if you can, and you see in this PowerPoint that we circled it with the yellow ink, so the yellow circle. So you can pose a question anonymously or type your name, submit the question. Please do not include any personal details. And so once your question is submitted, Ms. Bartley, our moderator or chat manager, will present the question to me at the end of the presentation. Now, some questions, because everyone on our team tonight is very knowledgeable, you might receive an immediate response, and which could include directing you to another staff member who's over that area of responsibility. So just look for this icon. So this is our administrative team. We start, of course, when our kids arrive as 6th graders. So we have 6th grade assistant principal, Ms. Oden. You've met 7th grade assistant principal, Mr. Crotchley. As we get our kids ready for high school, we got 8th grade assistant principal, Ms. Anderson. And then we're fortunate to have an administrative assistant, Ms. Lahman, and we call her assistant principal in training. And so she assists in many areas throughout the school. And then you have, you've already met me, Mr. Pinnock. So I will say that we are a great, wonderful, and effective school because of the support that I receive from our admin team. All right, our mission, for those of you, if you haven't visited the website or seen any material, our mission is to make sure that we advance student creativity, critical thinking, citizenship by engaging students in educational and social opportunities through school and community collaboration. And our vision for our students, so for our community, is guide all students towards their full potential as productive members of society. So we look at the whole child. And of course, the Wolf Way, we're in our second year of the Wolf Way, and it's also part of our logo. We expect students to demonstrate respectful behavior, kindness, be kind, and then also we want to be problem solvers. It's important for our students to know how to address challenges, to come up with solutions, and of course under the guidance of caring adults. All right, and here's the Wolf Way, and there are many opportunities for our students to, how can I say this, to grow in these characteristics and these traits. And we definitely believe in demonstrating kindness through our words, through our actions. Of course, respect every child who walks in our school is an individual, brings their family experiences, and we want to make sure that we respect what our students bring to the table. And of course, problem solving. This is a great activity from Adventure Quest, I think one of our connections classes. And we also allow our students to problem solve when we have some challenges at school. We value student input. This is our current student enrollment. So as you can see, we have 335 kids in 6th grade, 377 7th, and 468. As you can see, at 468 is our largest group, our 8th grade group, and we have a total of 1,180 students. And we're still enrolling students. I think we enrolled a new student yesterday. So we definitely welcome all students who live in our attendance zone. This is the revised, the current URL bell schedule at River Trail. Of course, teachers start at 8:20 with office hours. Then we move into Wolfpack, and then once at the end of Wolfpack, we've incorporated a 10-minute travel time or break time between classes for physical movement or just rest, and even for our teachers, just a bathroom break, time to have a bathroom break. And then when you get to the end of 4th period, we call this our lunch break, movement and screen break. So we are encouraging students to move away from the device after they finish their lunch, to move around, to go outside, stretch, shoot a few hoops, or just jog in place, but do something to get the blood flowing, get ready for the remainder of the day. And then our day ends at 3:55. Okay. So very close to the typical school day. And that continues from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Wednesday. This is our second week of our, we call it ISW, or Instructional Support Wednesday. So students receive their assignments from the teachers. Some teachers are sending it out Tuesday at the end of class to students. Some teachers are sending it Wednesday morning, just so that the students have something to do, because we know we have a lot of kids who want to get ahead, and so we send it out Wednesday, so that way you as parents can expect some learning and some assignments to take place. And of course, our teachers are available throughout the day. If not, they're in meetings. And it also allows us to administer any school-wide assessments. Like today, we had iReady ELA, the diagnostic that all kids are taking all the way up to high school. And so Wednesday lends itself to achieving that goal. And then on those assessment days, we will limit or reduce the number of assignments. Okay, so again, we want to provide that time, that low screen time for our students, but still hold them accountable for learning. So thank you again, parents, for that feedback, and staff for the feedback. All right, so this is as of last night, this was the current district reopening matrix, phase 1. Of course, right now we started universal remotes. Phase 1 started Monday, primarily for elementary school and for special ed students who are in a program. When I say a program, there are some schools that have autistic programs, that have intellectually disabled students. So those are program-based schools, but River Trail is not a program-based school, so we do not have special ed students in the building right now. And then for 3 through 12, this applies to us, one-to-one appointments. So parents, students, or teachers can request time, whether it's during the office hours or during planning time. And we had our first student today. We had to be, I guess we be reserved because we didn't want to bring too much attention to the kid, but it was nice having a student in the building. Okay, and then you see phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Actually, phase 2 is no longer in place. The superintendent did say if the numbers continue to continue on the downward trend, that we are going to go straight to phase 3 and phase 4. And I'm going to show you the revised. I'm sorry, this is the only version I have. It might be a little blurry, so that's why I have to keep it the size. But phase 3 is scheduled to start on September the 21st. And that's where a fourth of the students would have 1 day a week in school. So the days are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and the county will send, or the county will send something to the schools, to us to send out to parents, so that way we know which students will remain at home and which students will arrive. And then also we will send information to parents about our plan on how we are going to keep students safe and healthy and in class through class changes, lunch, bathroom, just at any time once your child departs the school bus or your vehicle and then leaves at the end of the day, we'll have some information so that way you can rest assured you know what the school is doing. And then again, this was announced last night in the board meeting. The phase 4 is the 5th of October. So I'm having challenges reading this too, I'm sorry. And phase 4, where you'll have half of the students for 2 full days. So you'll have a Monday, Thursday, and then it says Tuesday, Friday. So that's the new plan. And then the goal is to have everyone face to face on the 14th. Okay, so again, I'm sorry that it's difficult to read, but on the 14th. Make sure I have that right, yes. Okay. So again, parents, you can expect information as we get ready for phase 3. You will receive information this week about phase 3. Okay. And I encourage all parents to watch the board meetings. If you go to the Fulton County School District website, they post the meeting dates, and there you can watch them live on your local cable channel, or you can watch them via their internet. So, all right. So phase 1 again, I kind of went over this. It started Tuesday, September the 8th. I guess that was yesterday. Excuse me. It again doesn't apply to us because we don't have specific groups of specialized special education students. But what does apply to your child is they can request a one-on-one appointment with their teachers. Of course, they're optional. The county said we can have up to 4 students with a teacher in a face-to-face session, of course, separated by at least 6 feet. The students have to wear masks. Staff and students will do a temperature check, and we'll have hand sanitizer in the rotunda. And then we'll have the teacher come to the office and pick up the student, escort the student or students to the help session. Okay. So if you feel that you need this, you can reach out to your teacher. Right now, parents are responsible for transportation. Okay, but if for some reason you have a conflict with the time, or you cannot provide transportation, you can always schedule a Teams meeting with the teacher. So new this year, I'm excited. Even though we have a virtual start, we still have some new programs. Right now, we added a new career tech program. It's called Audiovisual Film Technology. And so this is where students will learn, I guess, storyboarding, directing, shooting, editing, anything related to the area of film, audiovisual, and technology. And we're very fortunate. Mr. Corderis, he comes straight from one of our local TV channels, and he's an Emmy Award-winning editor. So we're very fortunate to have him. He's very excited. In his classroom, we actually to meet the specs of the program, the specifications, we had to collapse a wall and combine 2 classrooms. And so if your child will experience AV film tech, they'll have a wonderful experience. And then also, as the program continues for year 2 and 3, and we hope that our students, once they depart and move to Northview, that interest will continue because Northview has an established program. And that was the superintendent's vision, to make sure that middle schools add more career tech programs and make sure that there's alignment with the Theater High School. So we're very excited. Another program is called Career Awareness 6, and this is a required course for all 6th graders. It's delivered through their Connections class, and so right now we have 3 of our Connections teachers who teach the course to the 6th graders. And in this course, the students explore all the different pathways. Like I mentioned before, audiovisual film technology is a pathway, engineering is a pathway, business education is a pathway, skilled trade. So there are up to 9 pathways that your child will have some exposure, and we want to spark that interest. So as they move through 7th and 8th grade, then maybe students can select. If a student really has a keen for business, they can say, well, I want to make sure I have business for at least one 9-week period next year. And then for our 8th grade program, in a couple of years, we're looking towards having year-long programs. And I'll give an example. For audiovisual film technology, when we open it up for 8th graders next year, a select group of students can remain in that class for a full year and then leave for the high school credit. Okay, so that's the goal of the career awareness class, is to really get kids' interest, early interest in a particular pathway, and then again continue the pathway in high school. Our student success skills. This is something that the school board has they worked on for a couple of years. And they notice, that with school, in order to have an academic success, because our business is learning, teaching and learning, students need these soft skills. They need skills that they can apply in any subject, in any situation, in extracurricular, and so they focus on particular skills: self-awareness, self-management, collaborative problem solving, reflective learning strategies. Of course, the sense of belonging and feeling competent, socially competent as you maneuver in friendships and acquaintances. And so these are our student success skills. But before we delve into the success skills, our students are doing a kind of like a re-entry. They have re-entry lessons, and because we understand that students have not stepped in a building since March. And so we definitely want to make sure that we take care of their social or emotional well-being the first 4 weeks of lessons. And of course, these lessons, they occur twice a week using videos, lesson plans. The software program is called Rethink Ed. And what's great is students can also have access to the lessons and videos through the class link. And so please look out for your students should have already experienced at least 3 weeks of those lessons. So please ask them and how they're applying those lessons, and if they need to refer back to them, they can always go back to Rethink Ed. And here's the icon right here. All right, grading. The course for URL. The only grades that teachers are counting are the summative grades, and that will count for 100% of the grade while we have URL. But also remember, parents, a summative grade includes, of course, a major test. It could be a writing assignment, it could be a project, and then as they're building up towards taking the summative assignments, they have formative grades. And remember, formative grades, and the root word is forming. The students are forming, they're learning, they're seeing what works, what doesn't work, and so as they're making their way to mastery, to learning the material and then being assessed, they will have some formative grades. So the formative grades will not count towards their average, but teachers do have the option of posting them so that way so you and your child know that you're on track, or if you need to request some assistance or clarification. All right, attendance. How are students accounted for? 3 ways we can take attendance in universal remote learning. Your child has to be present in class. the teacher sees their icon or hears their voice or sees their face, and they can contact the teacher. Let's say your child's having, I guess, a tech issue, and they send you an email or other text, depending on how you communicate with your teacher, that will count as attendance. Or if they just turn in an assignment. So if for some reason there's a lot going on in your household, or you do have major tech issues, but your child still could access the assignment and they turn it in, that will count towards their attendance for that day. So very flexible with attendance and very understanding. And if you have an excused absence, whether for whatever reason, a sick absence or family emergency, just email Mrs. Cantado and Mrs. Eng. They're in the front office. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with them. For our 6th grade parents, we can't wait for you to meet them. They're a great first impression for our school. So they're in the front office. You can just email them the reason and they will record it accordingly. All right, clubs. As you know, during this universal remote learning, and of course because of COVID, our clubs are virtual right now. They're virtual, and so I think we announced this information in the newsletter last week. But these are the current clubs that are, I think, actively recruiting, or you can sign up. I've included the contact person. You can also find this information in the latest newsletter that's posted on our website. Academic team, Debate Club, Design Thinking Club, Future Business Leaders of America, Howland Times, our student-led newspaper, Math Counts, and Junior Beta. And a lot of our organizations that work with state and national offices, they are going virtual, whether it's through competitions or events. So our advisors are definitely in touch with the people in those offices to make sure that we have everything we need. So please encourage your child to sign up. Okay, athletics and intramurals. As you know, we have an intramural and an extramural program, and right now those are on hold. Okay, and so per the district, we're not having any athletic competitive activities between schools. Usually we have soccer, volleyball, and then track, tennis, and basketball. So, and gymnastics. If we have enough interest, I think we have gymnastics as well. So yes. So right now those are on hold. As we get information, our PE coaches will share that. They'll send that information through the school newsletter. So just if you could stay on hold, but again, we encourage your child to find alternative ways to stay active. Okay, so who to contact when you have questions? I mean, yes, we have this ongoing Q&A chat for you, but if you have questions throughout the year for academics, of course, and grades, you need to talk to your teachers. Anything around social emotional concerns or your child's schedule, you speak with your grade level counselor. Okay, anything with special education, the person who's in charge, they're called the instructional support teacher, or IST, and that's Mrs. Jennifer Howell. Anything related to 504 accommodations, the gifted program, or student support, if you think your child needs support to make sure they're on grade level and doing well with behavior, or you want to talk to our graduation coach or 504 person, and that's Miss Sarah Roberson. And then also for general school information, check our website. Sometimes the newsletter, there's a lot of information in the newsletter, so it's always great to refer to a newsletter because usually you'll get a lot more details in there as well. Okay, and of course all staff email addresses and contact information you can find on the RTMS school website. Okay, and we have a terrific student support team, and we have 3 school counselors. We have 1 for each grade level, which is very key. We have a school psychologist. Our psychologist is primarily responsibility is testing for students who need some support And there's a formal process to go to reach the psychologist. We have a school social worker, so if there are any needs that are preventing your child from learning or preventing your family from providing an environment conducive to learning, you can reach out to a social worker. We have a graduation coach to make sure all students are on track to be successful in class for the school year and then matriculate through middle school up to high school. And then, as mentioned earlier, instructional support teacher to help any students who have been identified with special education needs. Again, this is a reminder, if you have a question, we got the Q&A symbol, and some of you will get an immediate response from Ms. Bartley, our chat moderator or manager. But for those questions that require an immediate response, we'll address them following the PTO. We have about a 3-minute video from our PTO, so we want to make sure that everyone is on board. We have a dynamic parent-teacher organization. They really support what's going on in the classroom. I mean, they make sure teachers have resources. Many times our teachers have creative ideas, but sometimes the funding's not there. So they can write a grant and it goes through a rigorous process of screening. And sometimes our teachers receive the full amount. Sometimes they receive partial. But the fact that how can I say this? Your membership helps support support your child and also supports our school. So we continue to be an exceptional school. So if you haven't joined the PTO, please visit the website and join. And they're always looking for volunteers. And so for our new 6th grade parents, just because your child's in middle school doesn't mean you shouldn't be involved. I think if anything, we should be more involved when our kids move up to middle and high school. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show the PTO video. And make sure I enlarge it. Make sure the audio's up.
Good evening, parents. We're here with you from the PTO. This is Megan Gavin, and I'm Kristen Feldstein, and we're the co-presidents of PTO at River Trail, and we're glad that you could join us today. Megan's going to discuss some of the things that the PTO does, and we work with parents and we work with the teachers, and we try to provide as many awesome services for our children as we can.
So a lot of parents always ask, what is the PTO? It stands for Parent Teacher Organization. We're an independent 501c3 nonprofit organization, and as Kristen said, we're here to support you, the families, students, parents, administration, and staff. If you're wanting to be a member, we've cut our dues by 50% this year just because it's such an unprecedented year. And you can do so. Any information from the PTO can be found at our website. Our website is rivertrailpto.com. And here you can find all the information about our organization. But if you're still asking, what does the PTO do? Why should I become a member? Then please take the time and click on programs and events and scroll down and see everything that we help fund or organize or provide volunteer support. And also take notice of any opportunities that are still open for volunteers and let us know if you're able to fill those spots. From here, you can also at the top have a link to the directory, our store, and volunteer signups. Those 3 things are housed in a separate website called Membership Toolkit. And make sure you log in if you haven't yet already this year. Every single parent should have a Membership Toolkit account. So again, please be sure that you can log in, or you may need to register for a new account. The directory question that we get a lot is only PTO members can access the directory to connect with other parents, but every single parent has an opportunity to choose their privacy settings, their visibility settings within the directory. So make sure you do check that out. Our volunteer signups that we can currently offer during this virtual learning right now are listed here, and our store still has some things left for spiritware. So check that out and we can arrange a pickup for you. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, especially if you're having issues logging in or still want some extra details about what our organization does or any volunteer spots. Our emails can be found at our website. If you just click on PTO board, our names of our board and our emails are listed there. And Kristen and I are happy to answer, again, any questions that you might have. president@rivertrailpto.com is our email address.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so now, make sure I'm doing this correctly. Okay, so just an update, and we will post this recording on our school website, including the PowerPoint. And also, if there are any commonly asked questions that require us to find the answer or to make sure we provide a clear answer, we'll also post that. But you can expect that next week. And teachers will email their presentations to all parents by 5 p.m. tomorrow. And so that way you can watch your presentation from your child or your children's teachers at your own leisure, your own convenience, but you will receive them by 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. I guess we're going to ask Ms. Bartley. Well, first I'm going to ask Mr. Crossley. Ms. Crossley, anything we missed before we?
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Pinnock, there have been some superb parent questions, and I know many of them have had them answered directly by Ms. Bartley, but there are a handful that I want to be sure you have an opportunity to address for our parents during this live session as they go through. And so what I'd like to do is I'll type them into the published chat area so that if a parent doesn't quite hear what the question was, they'll know what that question is and then give you an opportunity to respond. And I have them sorted by category. So the first questions I want to be sure that you have an opportunity to respond is our current URL schedule, where we have students in class synchronously from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, with asynchronous learning occurring on Wednesday. There was a great question asking, does this mean that there's a decrease in the hours of instruction with Wednesday being an asynchronous day? And if so, how are all the standards covered during that time?
Okay. Yeah, so right now I think our students, I don't say think, our students have what, 40 minutes?
40 minutes, yes, sir.
Yes, they have 40 minutes in class and the 10 minutes passing time. And we have Wednesday as the independent assignment. So there really isn't a decrease in instruction because the teachers use their professional learning communities. They meet every week. Sometimes they meet twice a week, and they look at the standards and then they pace them based on the allotted time that we have. So our goal is to make sure that by the end of the year, your child does receive all of the standards for that course. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I would like to also add that one of the key areas that teachers use now, particularly in the virtual learning, is consistent, short, quick checks with the kids to see if their learning targets are being met. They can be as informal as an exit ticket out the door in class, and I'm sure your children have seen lots of these where they have to answer 2 or 3 questions, or more formalized like a quick formative quiz. Though the kids, I'm sure at times get a little frustrated with quizzing, this is how teachers can not only know they've taught it, but more importantly, have the students learned it. And the great piece is our district has been doing a lot of work with what's called our Standards Mastery Framework. In the research, you may hear it called Power Standards. This would be where you take the enduring standards in a course, those that spiral with previous learning and then future learning, and really focus in and hone in a lot of your work on those standards. So those are the curriculum maps that the teachers are following to ensure that your children have all the curriculum covered in the time needed. So excellent questions out there on that. Mr. Pinnock, another question came up regarding, and it was often on, it can be hard for a child in a 7-hour day to focus in this URL environment for virtual learning. So what tips for concentration and engagement for the kids may you have, or, you know, might there be to set up a good learning environment for the child during the day?
All right, Ms. Bartley, can I put you on the spot? Ms. Bartley, our counselor, can you help with that? I mean, of course, we've asked our teachers not to provide more than 20 minutes of instruction during the class, so that way the students are not on the screen. Of course, I mean, we know about the breakfast, we know about the break time.
Yes.
And if it is overwhelming for your child, we want parents to tell the teachers. You have to tell the teachers. If you need to tell a teacher, I'm sorry, but my child they'll do the assignment, but they just can't watch the screen right now. They need a break.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
But can you go ahead?
You as a parent, please say, please email the teacher and say, my child needs a break at this time. We're trying to concentrate, but it's been a little bit. Just the communication with the teachers is the most helpful thing. Most teachers will definitely respect that when they see a parent email stating that student needs a break at this moment. Not a problem. We certainly understand that. And
I'm going to be very transparent with the parents. When I spoke with a few parents when we first started URL, one parent, this really stuck with me. They said, even in the corporate world, we're not in front of our screen that long.
Very true.
So that really hit me when that parent was sharing that. If we're trying to get our kids ready for being productive adults, and our first schedule was not setting them up for success. So thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. So now I want to shift to a different area. There have been a number of questions regarding the return to face-to-face learning. Overall, one of the biggest questions are, regardless of what phase 3 or phase 4, or even face-to-face, full-on face-to-face, will there still be an option for parents to keep their children home and learn virtually?
Okay. I'm going to use the board meeting, last night's board meeting, as my reference point. Dr. Looney and the board members are aware that there are some parents who will choose to remain at home. And so once we get the survey results from our parents, so we know who want to return and who will remain at home, then we will get some direction on how we will provide that instruction for those students. Okay, so I don't want to say anything that's not in place yet, and of course a lot of the direction will come from above us. But right now, what will drive how we set up learning for the kids who are in the building and the kids who are home will be the numbers. But as of last night in the board meeting, they are aware that parents will want to keep their students at home, and so the school district is planning, or we'll have a plan for those families. So that way that there's no break in the learning.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Pinnock. With regards to questions that parents have asked, those covered the major pieces for the overall. And then for those parents currently that are typing questions, and there is a bit of a lag, we will definitely be getting back to them either through the FAQ that will go out later, or it personally in the chat.
Okay. All right. Let me ask our producer, are there any of the last comments about our social media accounts or anything?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to again post our Instagram handle and link to our new Facebook page. And I believe at this time, if you want to stay to continue asking questions, please feel free to stay. Like Mr. Pinnock said, we are going to be releasing the recording of this sometime next week, and also a frequently asked questions sheet. So Mr. Pinnock, if you want to thank everyone for their time, we'll stick around for more questions.
Okay. I do. So parents, thank you for attending curriculum night, or the part one. So instead of giving you a 2-hour curriculum night, we broke it into two parts. And so I guess the most exciting part is tomorrow when you get to see and hear your teachers. and there'll also be a way for you to ask questions, whether through their email accounts. The numbers are going down when it comes to the cases. That's what we're hearing from our school district. And so please continue to practice social distancing. And remember, you know, if you're a wolf, if you're Archie Wolf, remember to mask up when you're out. And we look forward to seeing our students really soon in the building. Okay, thank you, parents.
All right, Mr. Pinnock, I believe we have some more questions coming in to the chat.
Okay.
We have quite a few. I haven't been able to keep up. Thank you, Guy, for jumping in, because yeah, it was quite a bit.
Absolutely. So given that this live meeting is still occurring, we can go ahead and address some overall questions that continue to come in, and I believe Ms. Bartley will continue to answer specific questions directly back to those families. I think it would be important to discuss, you know, Mr. Pinnock, there's a lot of excitement about the new audio-visual class out there and how students can sign up and get that information and join that class. I know our counselors have shared that in 6th and 7th grade, audio-visual is a course, or 6th grade, audio-visual is a course that students are randomly placed in, like they would any connections course where they go through. There's no selection process, but parents do know that come by 8th grade, should your child not have had an opportunity for one of our awesome connections classes during their 2 years at River Trail, that if they email their counselors, we do our best to put them in a connections course that they may not have had. A great example in years past has always been art. Through that, where if a child had not had art yet that year because of, usually it's children who are in the music courses, because that then limits the number of other connections classes they're able to take. We work very hard to be sure we can fit that in your schedule. We'll do the same for audiovisual.
Okay, that is correct. Thank you, Mr. Crossley.
Mr. Pinnock and Mr. Crotsley, we have had several questions also about Microsoft Teams and how parents can access the lessons or the assignments for their children. Can you kind of talk us through some of the formatting we have for our teachers and how they have structured their team?
Okay, Ms. Crossley, do you mind answering that one?
Not at all. And is it possible for me to share my screen?
Of course.
Okay. So parents, we have asked through Microsoft Teams, it's like going into a school building when the kids enter Teams. So let me see if I can pull this up for you. So in my Teams, and parents, thank you for your patience as I pull my team up. It is not liking me right now. And so I'm opening it up. You can see my desktop, and I'm sure you've got to experience this with your children at home and their teachers, as technology doesn't always give us exactly what we would like. Well, I apologize, Ms. Robertson. Right now, it's not liking me to go to all my teams. So let me see if it'll let me do it here. Okay, finally, we are there. So families, let me show you a specific team and how it's set up. As you can see, I have lots of teams we go through. I like to pop into my teachers' classes and see how everyone's doing. So let's use Ms. Hernandez's team. Your children will click on the team, and the first area they go to is their general channel. This is where teachers will post just basic information, but the most important item in the general channel for your children is up at the top. Many teachers will use what's called a class notebook. Think of this like their regular notebook at school that they would write in with a pencil and paper if that was possible. They can access their class notebook. There also may be an assignments tab where teachers can post assignments and students can submit them directly through Teams. That's located on your general channel. But for the most part, when kids go to class each day, they go directly here to their class meetings page. And every class has the same setup where you'll see the general and then O1 class meetings and then O2 weekly lesson plan. The numbers mean nothing. The channels like to be, they self-organize themselves alphabetically. So by putting O1, we can guarantee that class meetings will be directly below the general channel, and O2, we can ensure you that the weekly lesson plan is directly below the general channel. And so when your kids go to class, they can access their class notebook here in their assignments, but when they want to listen to their teacher, they come in and during class time right here, just like when they go in, there will be a purple join button and they click join and they pop into class with their teacher. This too is where they can see their weekly lesson plan. And then depending on the teacher and how they organize it, you may see a number of different channels below that. But what we require our teachers to have is the top three set up: the class meeting, the weekly lesson plan, and they have to have general. But below here, you may see a channel like small groups or ask me questions here, depending on how the teacher wants to organize their team.
So, Mr. Crotsley, if there's a parent who is interested in seeing the assignments, for the week or to check in to see what's going on in the classroom, parents should probably take a look first at that weekly lesson plans channel.
Oh, absolutely. So the weekly lesson plan channel, when they open it up, they will see the lesson plan there for the week, and they'll see the previous weeks, and their child open it up, and they will see Monday through Friday what the opening will be, what the work session will be, what the closing will be. The neat thing is as well, you will know immediately if there will be a summative assignment taken for a grade that day because it's listed right at the top of the lesson plan.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, parents. And remember, by next week, we will post this recording, the PowerPoint, and any common questions that require us some more detailed answers. Please keep in touch and let us know how we can help you and your child. And we're going to continue to have a successful year after a terrific start. Okay. Thank you and good night.